do a tactical okay, got it. Wow. I had to do the same thing too on my end. That was weird. Okay, we're learning today.
We're learning in learning
All
mode.
right, tactical pause. If you want to create a life of love and enjoy, you must have confidence. But the big question is, how do we gain the confidence needed to overcome the many self-induced obstacles we tend to put in our own way? And today we have a very special guest who is going to help us understand how we can overcome those obstacles and so much more. Welcome to the show. I'm a Primacino. I'm a welcome to the show.
Thank you, Terry. What a warm intro. How are you doing?
I always tell everybody every day is Monday, and I truly mean that. It's a mindset thing. And I think that whenever, you can build those systems in place, those things in place. And for me, it's the every day is Monday mantra because, man, every day can be chaotic, but when you don't care what day it is, who cares? Every day is Monday. I love it. I'm a welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Man, you are such a powerful woman. I've been watching you for a while, and as creepy as that sounds, man, you've been watching me for a while. Yes, I've been watching you for a
Really?
while. And man, you are so powerful. I love your message. I love your story. I love the women that you connect with, especially Rosie. When you and Rosie go live, I love those conversations because the two of you ladies really are very powerful when you get together and you share great stories, great messages. And I truly believe that that's what really connects people. It is those stories, it's those messages, it's those things that you've been through, that you've struggled through, that really allows other people to be empowered by that. How do you empower women so elegantly, so gracefully with your knowledge, skills, and experience? Because I truly believe you are empowering a lot of women worldwide.
Thank you so much, Terry. Rosie is a force of nature and she brings out the playfulness in me,
Mm,
and when we're together, you see the magic of feminine power together, supporting each
mhm,
other, guiding each other, celebrating each other. Um, like you said, every single one of us have a story to share. We come from a family with stories. The generation before told a story, and now the story is within us, being played out every single day, every single season of our lives. And like any beautiful story, there's twists and turns and ups and downs and falls and rises. And there's nothing more empowering in a storytelling, in a novel, on screen, on radio, anything that we enjoy with a damn good comeback. Everybody loves to hear about a setback, a challenge, an obstacle, and how the hero or heroine came back, right? Reset, rebuilt, re-energized. But the sad part is, in reality, when we're living the reality, we don't want the failures and the falls and the, setbacks and obstacles. So I'm on a mission to help women to understand that you can do anything you want, and there's a strategy for anything. And that strategy includes discomfort, self-doubt, insecurity. You and the way to overcome it is only through action and just embracing it. At some point, it will start to feel as normal as celebrations and successes and fun, right? If I do anything and I mess it up, Terry, I just think the same as I did something good, and I laugh about myself. And that's what's great about the vibe I have of Rosie on our live exposure. We talk about how difficult it is to do some of those things that we need to do to become successful. Uh, in our field, Terry, we study a lot of personal development. We look at personal development at its best in many fields, from sports athletes to celebrities who are taking stage. The thing that I love the most is when they allow cameras behind the scenes so you can see the shots that didn't make it, right? All the shots going in is fine, is one thing. But the exciting thing is that, someone like Michael Jordan can miss 55 and get one in, but the one in is the one that makes the difference. But the 55, he went through it and pushed past all the negative or limiting beliefs, self-talk, all those things until he achieves a successful outcome. So I just love life. I love what's possible, you know, when you're willing to feel the full rainbow of emotions. And with the introduction of AI and technology coming our way, I think human beings are going to go through transition faster than we've ever seen in the last 100 years. And that transition is going to bring up all the emotions that we try to dodge, right? Fear, self-doubt, reinventing yourself, identity issues. So it's a superpower to learn the art of taking risks, feeling uncomfortable, being willing to suck, as Evan Carmichael teaches, and, you know, being willing to start from zero at something and work your way up. And that's where confidence comes from. Confidence is not something you have from the start or the entry point. Confidence is what you gain after you take uncomfortable action over and over again with consistency behind you. And
Mhm.
of course, you need to surround yourself with like-minded, heart-minded individual who are also demonstrating what it means to be successful every single day. The challenge, the struggle, you cry together, you laugh together, you restart together, you unlearn together. Getting into community is half the battle won. Yeah.
I love that. Amma, thank you so much for sharing that. And oftentimes I see so many people that play small, and I get it. I mean, there's a lot of expectations that are out there that are put on us within the world. There's people that are setting the bar really super high, and then there's people that are really just kind of setting the bar really low. I have to ask, does it take courage to build confidence or even to have confidence?
It doesn't take as much courage as we think it does. Shall
Mm.
we do a little demonstration, Terry? You and I, right here.
Absolutely. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Put your hand up for me. Put your hand up for me. Okay. Now put your hand up a little bit higher. Okay. Why didn't you put your hand up that high from the beginning?
Because my back hurts.
Okay, right. Exactly. Great answer. You can put your hand down now. The reason you
Yeah.
didn't do it is because your back hurts, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't do it. It's also because most of us want to stay in our comfort zone. Going that little bit
Mm,
further back is a push. That
it is.
right
Yeah.
here is comfortable. Put your hand up. My hand is up. Put it up further much. It's a bit uncomfortable and you feel all the tension and you feel the resistance within your body. So Terry,
I
that is
did.
why a lot of people play it small because it's uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's all hard. If you're not growing, you're also dying and you're shrinking. So one way or
Mm.
another, you get to choose which side you want. Take the temporary discomfort of stretching outside of your comfort zone or start shrinking and dying. So when you understand that you can, with time and with effort, stretch beyond your comfort zone, everything you want, you can have more money, better health, greater relationship, but it's all uncomfortable. And most of us don't want to be uncomfortable to get there.
Yeah, I love. Thank you for that little exercise, by the way. I think that we oftentimes learn not only by saying, but we also learn by doing. And that was a great exercise of doing to give an example and show an example. I love that. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
You know, with so much chaos that's going on out there within the world, I always tell people to embrace the beautiful mess. Embrace the beautiful mess that is you, the beautiful mess that is like, the situation, the circumstances. Embrace the beautiful mess because it is through that beautiful mess that you can give an even more beautiful message. What, how can people get past the mess to create the message?
Hmm. So that's another barrier to people
Mhm.
feeling liberated and getting into creativity. First of all, any true creative path is messy. So we have to understand that if you want to create in this world, we're all born to create. Like we're
Mhm.
all born with a story behind us. So you get to choose your creative outlet. You can be an artist, a musician, an actor, any path you choose. It requires you to be messy because the true beauty and creativity is in the mess, right? Look at the art that wins the Turner Prize. Look at some fashion shows you see on the runway. Some of it look messy. You don't even understand it.
They
But
look horrible.
but that is creativity. And but we're brought up also to be looking for straight lines, angles. You know, if you look at what maths is, we're always trying to be fitting in a box and answering a certain way. But true creativity is just becoming unleashed and expressing the uniqueness that is you. Our fingerprints are completely unique. If you put it on a microphone to, sorry, a telegraph to see it, the whole pattern of our fingerprints is messy looking, right? But it creates a unique identity that is me or you.
Mhm.
So I think we just need to get away from a mess having that meaning of untidiness, not good enough, and look at mess as genius, perfection, brilliance, right? I'm starting to see the beauty in a mess. So last year, to help me get more messy, I took up an adult art class, and it was using watercolors to express emotions. And me being a recovering perfectionist at the time, ooh, the idea of just getting messy on paper wasn't my thing, but that was the whole point. You have
Mhm.
to allow your paintbrush to literally go wherever it goes to see what comes out, you know, because it's wet and it leaks and it bleeds and it travels and it is messy. And at the end of it, if you take a step back, in that messy process, you get to create a truly beautiful and unique piece of work that is just perfect. Yeah. So perfection is in
I
messiness.
I love the watercolor analogy because I think that a lot of times people are, they're afraid to allow the mess to happen. They're afraid, people live in fear because I think there's a lot of fear of judgment that's out there. I always tell people, I was like, look, people will often judge you from a place of weakness because they do not understand the strength that it took for you to be vulnerable. And I think that when you put yourself out there in a way, you might not necessarily have it all together. You don't have all the knowledge, you don't have all the skills, you don't have all the experience, you don't have all the things, but at the end of the day, I truly believe that we have the most important thing that we really need in order to make a difference within this world, and that's ourselves. And I think that when we show up within ourselves and show other people, hey, I'm me for who I am and what I am. You can judge however you want, but you know what? I'm just going to continue to be me. And I think that really conditions other people on how to really deal with us. And I think that that's something that people are missing is teaching people how, not necessarily how to deal with you, but how to approach you, how to understand you, how to love you. And I think that there's a leading process within that. How do you lead other people to really kind of interact and engage with you?
It's not an easy process, Terry. It's not an easy process because
Mhm.
um, speaking to you right now, talking about storytelling, there's the you, Terry, that I'm speaking to you today on the 17th of January 2024. There's a you that used to be you a year ago, 2 years ago. And there's another you that is ahead of you that you're trying to get to. All right.
Mhm.
So the way I help people to embrace and engage with me is to welcome all parts of you. The
Mhm.
greatest thing anybody can learn to do is to welcome all parts of themselves. That starts with a full self-awareness, your strengths, your weaknesses, your skill sets, your knowledge, your background. Bring all of it to the table. It's all welcome on the table. And then also to understand what is unique about you and how you can help, even if you can only think of it like this, an old version of yourself. We don't have to be at mastery level before we have value to support another human being. I always like to say, I'm literally one chapter ahead of you. If I'm reading a book, so I've got a book on my desk right here, and it's Stop
Mm.
Chasing Perfection and Accept Excellence, right? I'm one chapter in from this book, Terry. I can share with you that one chapter. I don't need to have read the whole book and I've implemented excellence for myself. I can share with you what's in the last chapter. So I think if we can all get away with being perfect, being a master, being excellent, and learn this new skill. Okay, my dad used to call something he's BBC. He was born before computers. And that means the whole idea of having meetings like this on screen and staring at himself is something unusual. But as we advance, taking stage, showing up, going all in is a necessary part of progress, of human evolution, of us sharing our gifts and talents with the world. So it is just meeting yourself like what we're doing on camera, sitting with all the discomforts, and eventually those whispers of self-doubts. Oh, how's my nose looking? Oh, how's my voice sounding? I'm not good enough. When you keep meeting that person, you get to fall in love with them. And also, if you meet it with a mindset of welcoming that person you're meeting, that next version of you that you're meeting, um, and you speak to it like a best friend. Way to go, Terry. Way to go, Emma. Showing up, speaking your truth. Whatever I have to say is of value. If it's not of, and I always like to think, if I'm able to help just one person with my voice or my message, I did a good job. And Terry, that one person could be me. Any one of the me's I've discussed, the me I used to be, the me I am now, the me I'm going to be in the future, or you, anybody watching, if they get one word, one phrase, and I support one person, I'm done.
I love that. And all that it takes is one, each one, reach one, each one, teach one, and then each one become one. And I truly believe that if you want to, you was hinting at something earlier, and this reminded me of something that I used to share within the military. And in the military, it was be, no, do. And if you want to become a better person, a better leader, you must be, know, and do. And I talked to somebody yesterday, and it was be, do, give.
You
I was
do
like, wow,
give.
that's kind of a nice little twist on that. And I was like, wow, it opened up my eyes to a different side of how we can show up to serve other people. And I truly believe that no matter where you're at, we all serve in different ways. We all serve, we have to be flexible to serve in different ways. Otherwise, we will limit our capability and our ability to be of tremendous value to those that we serve.
Mm.
And I want to understand how important is flexibility within that, because I see so many leaders, so many people, so many entrepreneurs, so many even businesses just, go down the street to just a local business. I'm sorry, but we don't do that here. Like, why not, dude? I'm the customer, saying, why do you play small? Why are you holding back? Why you're not serving in a way that is conducive, to the customer? And I know you and I kind of had a little back and forth before we went live here. It's like, do we go on Zoom? Do we go on IG? I don't know, man. It's like, well, this is what I do, but this is what we do. But like there's a lot to unpack with that. But how important is flexibility, with whenever you're trying to serve people in a better way?
Yeah. Whenever you're trying to serve people in a better way, flexibility is vital because we're all different, we're all unique. And
Mhm.
I don't believe there's one key that opens all doors.
Mm.
So that means that you have to get creative, you have to get messy, you have to be flexible, you have to be many things that isn't chiseled in stone. Because what we do, we're serving human beings, and human beings come in all different shapes, sizes, backgrounds, experiences, emotions, etc. And also, for what we're doing, it's 50% skills and 50% intuition. So to
Mm.
guide, to motivate, to educate, to inspire another human being, to unlock a version of themselves, to go through a transition, to take a transformation, it requires a lot of flexibility that you tap in from your own intuition. There's a skilled, trained coaching modalities, tools, and resources to use. And then another part is intuition. So for your
Mm.
intuition to flow, it requires a lot of fluidity, a lot of flexibility to be able to tap into an endless reservoir of knowledge and wisdom that sometimes for me is channeled. I as a Christian, I ask God to be, for me to be a vessel for his good, right? So most of the time, it's not just, I'm not depending on my own power, on my own stories, on my own vulnerability in service of the client. I'm also allowing my body, my mind, my heart to be flexible, to be that vessel, to receive the guidance, the knowledge, the wisdom to help that person to unlock, to shift, to come into their own aha moments and shift their mindset. But as you know, coaching is also through a series of questions. We don't dictate or tell the client what to do.
Mhm.
We first get them present and then allow them to be processing what they're experiencing, and then help them to make a commitment and take action. All of those steps cannot be done in one way. It has to be flexible, depending what the client wants to achieve, what they want to avoid, what they believe are the next best steps for them.
Mhm.
So flexibility is key. And also, very often, our role is as entrepreneurs, we're trailblazers. You're
Mhm.
not always going to go somewhere that there's already a route map. You need to take with you a shovel to carve your own path if there isn't, or build your own stage if there isn't a platform. So, of course, you need to be flexible in your mindset, in your heart set, in your faith, in your willingness to try new ways, try new recipes, mix it up, create your own flavors. Flexibility is a superpower.
Mhm. I love that. And I start my day with gratitude. Every single day is an opportunity to express gratitude. Yeah, and the moment that I wake up, I have this little prayer that I say, "Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for another opportunity. I'm truly grateful for the day that you have given me. Please allow me the courage, the confidence, the strength, the knowledge, skills, and experience to show up in a way that serves others in which they have put their faith and trust in me to do. Please allow me to show up so that I can show out, speak up so that I can speak out, and
Amen.
be of 100% service." I mean, I'm paraphrasing here because I say different things from day to day, but for the most part, I have about the same things. It really depends on what I'm focused on for that day. Kind of modify that little gratitude prayer when I wake up every single day. You hit on something that reminded me of something I used to do years ago. I was in the military for 24 years.
Yeah.
So if you wonder why am I so disciplined, why am I so regimented, why am I so like, it's because I was in the military,
I
and
was raised by a military man, so we have that in common. My dad was also in the military.
my mom was married 4 times, 3 of them were military men. So
Okay.
I dealt with that when I was growing up, and then I also joined the military for 24 years, served as a government contractor, for 5 years after I retired from the military, and now it's like now I'm just doing whatever here.
Your mom
But
has a thing for men in uniform, military uniform.
she did. My mother passed away here, not too long ago, but, man, the things that she did over the years always stuck with me. She was one of the great leaders that I looked up to because no matter where we were within our life, she was right there. She was that staple. If she gave me a shoulder to cry on when I needed one, she gave me an ear when I needed someone to listen to, and I think that's really important, when it comes to being empowered. I think it really has a lot to do with having someone that you can know, like, and trust, someone you can lean on, someone that also will stand there with you instead of fight against you in your moment of vulnerability and your biggest moment of need right there. So talk to us a little bit about right there. What does it mean to just be there in presence? Because you did say that there, make them feel present. What does it mean to be present with someone when they need you the most?
Um, it's a new skill that is becoming widespread, like doctors, therapists, teachers, preachers, coaching. Um, Society's changing a lot.
Mhm.
Historically, we lived very much in where communities of extended family, and we were each other's support network. You have, as I said, a teacher, a preacher, an uncle, somebody to reach out to and present whatever challenge, obstacles, shifts you're trying to make, get guidance and support. But that's all changing now, and we're becoming more, isolated. COVID has also kept shifted the way we work, the way we lived in so many ways. So it really means a lot to build relationships. Relationship is the key to a fulfilled life. Human beings, we're not meant to be on our own. We're meant to be in relationship, whether romantic relationship, healthy family relationships, or collaborative work relationship. So we thrive by surrounding ourselves with the right people. It's very important to hold space for people who are going through something, because of the difference between making it and not making it. It's this difference between transcending from that space and time or not, or staying stuck. As a coach, the most powerful thing I can do for another human being is to let them understand that we build trust. We build trust with our clients. That trust, the word trust, TRUST, has us in the middle. So the way that person, I hold presence for that person, is to let them understand that us, you, me, and this conversation is so important that nothing will break it. And that opens a safe container for them to be themselves, see their truth, speak their truth, and be able to overcome whatever's holding them back. At least we can table it for discussion, knowing that I see you, what you have to say is important. I love you. I believe in you. The most wonderful thing you could tell somebody is that I believe in you, and make them feel valued and worthy of their experience, and to be able to allow them to almost hold up a mirror of greatness, that they can get a reflection and borrow your faith in them so that they can become, because we're all trying to become, right? The journey of becoming. Sometimes you need somebody to hold your own mirror of greatness to you so that you can see what's possible for you.
I love that you said that, because we're always evolving. There's so much opportunity that's out there, and we haven't arrived yet. We're still becoming. But that book that you held up there a minute ago had a key word in there, and that's called settle. And I think a lot of people really kind of settle with what they have, with what they've always had, with what they've always known, and they don't try to put forth the effort to try to achieve greatness. They play small, they hold themselves back. And I'm here to tell people, I was like, look, don't settle for anything less than the best, because we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. And like our mentor Evan says, once you discover your purpose, you will discover your passion. And I know that you have a passion for empowering women through confidence. And it is a very dynamic process. But how can women really adapt and evolve? Because I think that we're in a period to where we're evolving, we're learning, we're having access to different processes, different procedures, different resources, and it's becoming more and more readily available nowadays. But how can women adapt and evolve, or at least have the confidence to evolve? And what strategies would you share with women that, like, hey, here are resources. You do have this. You do have this available. How would you coach women to let them know that, hey, you can make progress. You can take action. No matter what stage you are within your life or within your career, you can do this.
As you asked that question, and I remember this week is Martin Luther King's celebratory week, I have to quote one of his quotes that is my mantra for the women who I serve. And that is, everybody wants to be famous, but not everybody can be famous, because, but everybody can be great. Actually, I'm butchering this. Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. Right? Greatness is determined by service. So the way I support women is to let them understand that you have somebody the world need. You have something that the world need. Find what you're passionate about. Decide what your mission is and go to work on it. Go to work on yourself first and serve from that. The way you serve is by not chasing perfectionism, not chasing maybe how things were done in the past or how your parents did it or society expectations of you, but you yourself define what excellence means to you. Set the bar high, raise your standards, and go for it. That's as simple as that. And that means different things to different people, Terry. For me, I'm on a mission to unlock potential in women especially. There are so many women, especially mothers, who have so many books, music, gifts, talents, painting, businesses locked up inside of them, and they never unleash their full potential. Miles Monroe says the graveyard is the richest place on the planet because it's full of untapped potential. And sometimes motherhood can because of there's so much perfectionism and expectations and guilt and shame and so much built around the journey of motherhood, which is a beautiful journey. A lot of women feel they have to lower their standards, lower their expectations, and prioritize or live motherhood through the eyes of the world, through the eyes of society, through the eyes of their partners or their mother-in-law or whoever is putting these expectations on them. I empower women by igniting the fire that was in them before they became mothers, or maybe while they've been in motherhood, to understand that the world need women and mothers who've come alive, parenting from passion, because she's waking up, throwing the blanket off her, can't wait to get out of bed, and just going through motherhood and going through living her full potential and her passion. Children need that. They need to see a mother who's come alive and who's living a life of excellence. She's raising her own standards in everything from her mindset to how she steps out in the world to her creative endeavors, whatever that she wants to do, and going to work on it and showing your children that it takes work, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, it takes focus, it takes clarity, it takes all those topics that we discuss several times on our movement maker discussions. It takes so much, but we cannot. I don't want to die. I want to die empty, Terry. I want to die empty. I want to show my children. I want to be 110 years old with my great granddaughter on my lap. And I tell her, Granny lived a full life. And then I tell her all the exciting adventures that I had so that she can see, oh, I've handed the baton on like that. Because until, as I said before, maybe I've created the trail, the maps, the tools, the resources. You can't give what you don't have. We could tell our children, go out there and live your life and be this and be that. But if I've not lived it, it's not do as I say. Show me what a full life looks like. Show me what a woman looks like when she's illuminated in her passion, in her courage, in her faith, in her belief in herself. I want to demonstrate that for my daughter. I want to demonstrate that for my clients. And so for me to be the kind of coach that I want to be, I consistently have to work on myself. When I work on myself, I work on my clients. When I work on my clients, I work on my business. And I'm just raising my standards, making excellence my mark, and prioritizing service, because everybody can be great if you choose to serve.
I love that. You know, everything you said right there reminds me. There's a book that's out there called "It Takes What It Takes," and I truly believe that people they don't understand what it takes to do the things that we do. Sometimes, oftentimes, people on the outside looking in will be like, "Man, like Alma's amazing. Alma look great. Alma's doing it with confidence and grace and beauty and all these things," and people say, well, I can't do that. That they let that self-doubt creep in. They let that, that those limiting beliefs kind of kick in a little bit. And then they lack the courage and the confidence to really kind of step out there and be vulnerable. And it's those moments of uncertainty that really, we don't really know what we don't know, but it takes what it takes in order to get past those things that we don't know so that we can get a result. And one of the things that I share with people is I got this little framework that I share with everybody. I was like, look, you can't get a result unless you take an action. You must think, you must decide, you must act. From that result, from that action, you're going to get a result, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, big, small, positive, or negative, it is a result. Figure out what went right, figure out what needs improvement, review, revise, and repeat. It's a simple framework. But I think that a lot of times people are really just missing those frameworks. They're missing the strategies that go behind what it takes to have courage, what it takes to have confidence, what it takes to take action every single day. So, what would be a good strategy that you could share with everybody that would be like, you know what? Whatever you have going on today, it doesn't really matter. You need to show up in a way that serves you and serves others in a best way, but people don't even have a strategy just for showing up. What would be a great strategy for someone?
Bingo. The strategy is strategy. The only
Mm,
strategy is strategy. First, you have to seek to understand, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? What is it I'm trying to avoid? What are the next best steps? These are the most basic things you can ask yourself. And then understand that. So you said, Emma looks like she's doing this or that with ease and grace. Ask a better question. How is she doing that? Because
Mhm.
there's a strategy for everything. If you want to know about my strategy for maintaining your physical health, if you want to know my strategy for creating reels, if you want to know my strategy for showing up, there's a strategy for everything. That is the lesson that took me the hardest to learn. Find people who are doing what you want to do, some of the moves, some of the shakes, some of the steps, and reach out to them. Get a coach. This uh, path to greatness and unleashing your potential, I don't believe we're supposed to do it on our own. I decided I wanted to be a coach, transitioning from being from a background of marketing and public relations. And Terry, I might have been able to do it because, as I said, it's 50% intuition, it's 50% something I built with. I've always been the go-to girl who was supporting girlfriends, relatives, family members with relationship troubles. For some reason, I was always the one picking up the call for that. However, when I decided I wanted to be doing this as a full-time role and not as a hobby, I took a strategy from several courses. I invested in myself. So I would say the best strategy is to invest in yourself. Find yourself a coach, find yourself a program, find yourself something that helps you to become that next level you. But most of all, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that every single one of us has potential inside of us, like a seed, right? If you don't plant the seed, if you don't water it, if you don't nurture the soil, if you don't do the work, you're not going to be bearing fruits. And the other thing that's important is that in today's society, we got so used to calling Amazon today and it's to your house at 7 o'clock in the evening. So most people quit on their dreams and their goals because it's too hard, taking too long. I love what you said, Terry. It takes what it takes. So you have to decide. And Napoleon Hill said, do I have a burning ambition or a burning desire? Put the burn behind your ambition, behind your desire, behind your potential. Go to work on it. Allow it to take whatever it takes, but just decide, I will not quit. And guess what? You will get an outcome, and that outcome will be what you've been looking for, no matter what. It works every time.
I love that, and if you want to have confidence, you really kind of have to embrace the idea that you don't have it all together. You are vulnerable. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have skills yet. I think yet is the key word there. And I think that a lot of people really, really quit before they get to I haven't arrived yet. I haven't gotten there yet. It's like, it doesn't mean that you can't, you just haven't gotten there yet. Can you share a story with us where you felt the most vulnerable? Like, man, I just don't have it. I just don't want to do this, where you had to step through that vulnerability to have the confidence to take an action. I think that oftentimes when people feel that they don't have it all together or they don't have it yet, they tend to just not, they're just debilitized. They're paralyzed. I can't do anything because. Have you ever had a moment where you just felt like that, but you know what? You grabbed it and said, let's go.
All the time, all the time. But
Mhm,
I'll give because you asked me to tell you a story. I'll tell you a story.
mhm,
When I graduated from university, I was working in a call center for an airline
mhm,
company called EasyJet. And
mhm,
in the call center, I was really good at serving customers, but it's not what I wanted to do. I had a master's degree in marketing management and I wanted to be in the marketing department, but I was in the call center. But I recognized that if I do a bloody good job in this call center, somebody in marketing is going to notice me. Anyway, Terry, I sat there forever. And no, well, I say forever, for about 6 months, and nobody approached me. So not feeling confident because I knew I didn't have what it takes to be applying for anything in the marketing department, I asked them if I can work there a couple of days a week for free, just to be able to sit there, listen to what it means to have the transferable skills of the theory that I knew, but to apply it to real life marketing principles. So I sat in the marketing department for about 3 months. And then I saw a job advertised, big job. It was way bigger than the skills I had at the time. It was to work for a national carrier. And I knew this wasn't a graduate position, but Terry, I just, before I even knew about manifestation was a thing or a word, I decided to see myself in that position, and that job is mine. I circled the bloody thing. I went to the interview, and what I was really good at was projecting that I was a willing learner. I'm a coachable individual. I'm happy to be trained, whatever it takes. And I convinced that marketing manager that I don't quite meet the requirements on the paper right now, but I believe in myself, and I'm asking you to believe in me. I will become that person. So it was very nerve-wracking because, as I said, the role was much bigger than who I was at the time. But I had faith in myself. And I recognized then, lesson one, that whatever you're doing, the first step, confidence is something that comes after you gain competence. But you got to be willing in your wobbly, unconfident state, with so full of self-doubt, to take a step. That step might be just even applying. Let me just apply. If I get a response back, it's a sign, right? Oh my God, let me just go for the interview. If I get called for a second interview, it is taking step by step by step. And every time you pass one step, you build a bit more confidence. It's a muscle. It's not there going to the gym once, or it's not there winning once. It is a repetitive action. So that's an example of applying for jobs that I knew I didn't have the skills for, but I was willing to learn. And confidence is something that came after I got competent at the role. But a lot of people wouldn't even start because they think they need the confidence to start. You don't need confidence to start. You need the faith, the belief in yourself that you can do it. And then you just take baby steps. I won't even say little steps, baby steps toward that. That baby step might be applying for the job. It might be speaking to a friend to help you revise your CV so you look the part. But I would say that there are many scenarios that I wasn't confident, Terry. More recently, let's say 2 years ago, Rosie Rose got me to do my first IG live. I didn't want to do it. And for the first time, I didn't like the way I look. I didn't like my voice. I thought I didn't realize the many mannerisms that we don't realize that we have, right? Like I say a lot of, I use my hands a lot. I didn't like any of that part, seeing myself for the first time on screen. But somebody told me maybe the parts you don't like is what makes you real. Maybe the parts that are imperfect is what makes you connectable, relatable. Maybe the parts that isn't so polished that you're hating on is the part that is endearing women to you because they see themselves in you. And now, Terry, when I go live, to be honest with you, I don't care anymore. I am the women that I'm talking to, or I've been them. I know you. We're together. Let's go. Let's do it scared. Let's do it wobbly. Let's discover who we can be, imperfectly us. And that's all I care about right now. It's just to grow and evolve.
I love that. Rosie's a powerful woman. I've gone live with her before on Instagram, and we've had some truly powerful conversations. And man, she has a great story as well too. You know, it's one of those things that I truly believe, listening to what you said right there, nothing changes unless you change.
Mm,
And it begins with yourself. And the moment that you're able to look within, because a lot of people are looking for inspiration in all different places, and and this, that, and the other. But look, inspiration begins within.
mm,
And I think that whenever you are able to look within inside, you will understand what the possibilities are, because a lot of times people are just looking for opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere. They're skin deep, there's surface level, there's opportunities everywhere. But I truly believe when you're able to look deep within inside, you will find everything that you've ever been looking for, because you are capable. You can be the change that you want to be within the world. You can know the change, you can do the change, you can give the change. Because I see so many people complaining about, oh, I want this, I want that, or how come this, or how come that. But yet, look, it does take one, but it takes you to be able to show up in a way that you can be the change you want to see within the world. And that's a frequency. That's, that gets put out there within the world. I smile at everybody. It drives my wife nuts. I'll talk to anybody. It drives her nuts, because I'll stop and I'll just kind of carry on a conversation with people. But look, I also walking around and I see people just grumpy. They look like they're pissed off at the world and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, look, man, it just takes a smile,
Mm.
and you can change somebody's whole outcome of their day just by giving them a smile, because you know what? That might have been the only smile they got that day. You know, we have all
I
this
love that.
anger around us.
I
We
love that.
have all. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love that, Terry. And I'm laughing because I drive my husband crazy as well, because I am a coach. I coach every day and I coach everywhere I go. You know,
Mm,
recently I went to the hospital to have a blood test. I ended up coaching the woman drawing my blood. When we go through the airport, you know, if I have any moment, airport security, we're talking about something, I feel like
uh-huh.
every moment is an opportunity to have a deep, meaningful conversation with the human that you're interacting with. Something about the
Mm,
conversation they'll remember, they'll come alive, they'll have an insight, they'll shift their mindset. We are walking gifts. We're walking gifts only if we dare to use our voice to inspire, motivate, embrace somebody. You can embrace somebody just with your work, the power of your words, your smile, you know, your heart. And I wear my heart out open, because that's the way I feel good. You know, people are always saying that, are you always happy? I'm not always happy, but I
mhm,
choose to be happy, and I recognize that happiness is created. But you were talking about confidence, opportunities, and ideas. The world is full of opportunities. The world is full of ideas. Literally, come a dime a dozen. Everywhere you go, there's an idea or an opportunity waiting to be untapped or, you know, unleashed.
mhm,
But as you said as well, it starts from within. You can't go for those opportunities, or you can't pick up an idea and run with it if you don't believe in yourself.
mm,
You can't. Somewhere along the line, this ain't going to work. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not, finish the sentence. So,
mm,
the greatest thing anybody can do for themselves, for their family, for their community, is to take the time to invest in themselves, to learn some of those strategies that gives radical confidence, because the next chapter that this world is going into, it's not for people who lack faith in themselves. You have to believe in yourself. Machines, computers are going to replace some of the core skills that we're doing. We're seeing that in the workplace right now.
mhm.
And that means the next frontier is to uh, invest in yourself, to have emotional intelligence, to be able to feel all your feelings and all your emotions and let them drive you, but you drive them with your
Right.
desired outcome in mind.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking time. I had an absolutely amazing conversation here. You know, we've had an opportunity to talk before in Evan Carmichael's Movement Makers, and you know, and I've seen all your, you know, all your live streams. We've connected, but I think this is the first time that we've really truly connected, you know, in a very different way, in a unique way, around a powerful conversation of confidence. And I love you for that. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk with me here today. Before we go, I always give everybody an opportunity to share one golden nugget. Like, if you had the most powerful thing that you could share with anybody that's going to watch this, what would that one golden nugget be?
Oh, that's a very good question. Um, well, you know, I have a heart for women and I have a heart for mothers. And the
Mhm,
one golden nugget that I want to share will have to be something around: the world needs more women and more mothers to come alive, to build the confidence in themselves to be able to tap into the endless reservoir of ideas, opportunities, talents, and gifts that they have trapped inside of them, so that they can impact their children to become a greater version of themselves. When you perfect, and not perfect, but when you step into and embrace in the idea that greatness exists within yourself, believing that you've got greatness inside of you, I say, make that your life pursuit, to find out what that is and gift it, number one, to yourself, to your children, and to the world, because the world need that. We're going to change this world not by anything in the outside forces that we can't control, but by controlling our thoughts, our emotions, our hearts, and channeling that into what our life purpose is supposed to be. And this is the gateway to true fulfillment. If you want to die, and the day you die, you're feeling like, yes, I came here, I lived the human life, I celebrated everything that I could. It starts by you coming alive, finding your passion, your purpose, and gifting the world with that brilliant version of you.
I love that. Thank you so much. Any current projects that you want to share, and how can anybody that's watching this connect best with you?
Yes, I host regularly a free confidence masterclass, and anybody interested in joining, we do them like every couple of months. They can just send me a DM on my Instagram. My handle is at Amma Primicino. And yeah, and also I offer a complimentary discovery call. So if you have a burning desire, a goal, ambition, if you're feeling stuck, you want to open the next level of you, and you believe that confidence is the gateway and the key to unlocking your full potential, I'm happy to offer a discovery call to see if we're a good fit together. And if we are, we can take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll be sure to have all of those links in the description, and all of the locations of where this will be. This will be on YouTube, all the podcast platforms and so forth. So we'll have everything in the descriptions. That way you can get connected with Amma. Thank you so much for talking
Thank
with
you
me today.
so much for this time with you. I always enjoy the time spent with you, Terry. And thank you for having me today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us here today. That was Amma Primicino. Make sure you get connected with her. We'll have all of her links in the description and the videos here and the audios, wherever this is at. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Get connected to Amma. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
All right. Awesome. Let me hit stop and stop. Awesome. Amma, thank you so much.
I hope that was okay.
That was great. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Um, and once I do get this, I mean,
Sip
you was
my
recording.
espresso.
Hold on, hold on.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Oh my goodness. Mine's a little cold now.
Terry, can I show you? I'm sweating.
Really?
Yeah, I
I,
always
I
get sweaty.
I do the same thing. So like this shirt, I gotta go wash this shirt because I've been recording all week, and oh my goodness, this shirt just like, ugh, that's me.
So maybe I should have reminded people that it's not natural, it doesn't, but you don't have to
Uh,
wait for it to feel natural. Just do it. Just do it.
oh my goodness. Thank you so much, by the way. I know we went a little off script there, but once again, that's why I put in the show notes. It
That's
was
okay.
like, look, don't expect me to ask these questions. Like, depending on how the conversation is going, we could dive down, because I'm always listening. I'm listening, and then I'm connecting the dots with what was said, with piquing the curiosity of questions of what was said. And I think that's
You
important.
ask
I see.
great questions. You link so beautifully. The way
Thank you.
somebody ends with a sentence and then you pick nuggets from that and ask the next question. I'm like, I have something to learn. What an
Uh-huh.
artist.
Thank you, by the way, because I do see some movement makers, a lot of them struggling during their live streams, their conversations, their podcast. I see that. And it's one of those things to where, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. The first time that I was on a radio show back in 1989, 1990. So I do have radio experience,
Oh, it should.
and it's one of those things to where you never really know where the conversation is going. But I think that if, in order to really maneuver that, you have to listen so that you can learn so that you can understand, not only so you can speak, so that you can dive deeper. And
Yes.
I think that's where people are really missing how to be a great host and
Mm.
how to be a great guest, is because people are listening to speak instead of listening to dive deeper.
Yes. You really did excavate and you went
Mhm.
levels within that, as you say, it wasn't necessarily on the show notes, but I think it served the audience listening So that
Yeah.
was really, really skillfully done. And I actually enjoyed that, Terry. It was a great conversation. I enjoyed that.
Thank you so much.
You're a
Thank you so
brilliant,
much.
brilliant host, and you hold space beautifully. And I felt comfortable. And I also felt like you wanted me to shine. So you were navigating with questions. And I hope I did a good job. I don't know. We'll have to play it back and watch.
It was fantastic. And once I do get this published out, I'll be sure to share links with you and everything. You'll be tagged, and
Okay.
I'll share. Hey, here it is on. It'll, like I said, it'll go on YouTube first.
Okay.
So I publish YouTube first, and then from there, I'll distribute it amongst all the other platforms
You want me
after
to
it goes
send
on
you a
YouTube first.
picture, like a selfie now, so that you can use it? Do you make the thumbnails and that?
I do, and I'll either grab one from like a website or Instagram.
Okay.
But if you have one that's very specific, like this is the one I want you to use, just send it to me. That I'll use that one.
On my thumbnails, I always use a picture of the day, right? So that it's the same, but it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. Like, so
Yeah,
when the
I
when the
don't.
person clicks, you're always wearing the t-shirt. So any picture you use, you've got your brand to wear. But I can
Yeah,
send you a picture of me like as at now, so that when they click through, I look exactly the same.
I've so hold on while we're talking about that. If you want to, let me hold on. Let me hit Control Shift 4, and I'll grab a screenshot. So if you want to go ahead and like smile. All right, here we go. One, I'm grabbing right now. One, two, and three. All right, awesome. So
So
I got a
how do you take a
screenshot.
screenshot?
So I'm on a Mac, so I hit Shift Command 4, and what it does is
Ah,
it brings up the I don't know, like the grabber tool,
yes.
and then I basically just grab the desktop, like grab the area that I want it to screenshot, and it goes from there.
All right. Okay. Okay. Now I hope this curtain's going to be all right. I really didn't want this in there, but it's okay.
That'll be fine.
Terry, that was fun. Thank you so much. We must do this again. I want to interview you. Actually, while I've got you on the
Mhm.
Zoom, let's get a date in my diary to talk with you on my YouTube. You know that Kevin and I also have a YouTube channel.
No, I did not know that.
Kevin Raymond. Okay, I'll send you a link. But anyway, when are you available?
Right, typically right around this time right here.
So next week,
Nine,
Thursday?
9 o'clock, quite frankly, was just a little like right on the edge of like, oh my goodness, I was waiting on everybody to go out the door, and I was like, I got to get on this call. So usually around 9:30, 10 o'clock ish. 9:30 is usually better.
9:30. Okay, 9:30.
Yeah,
Next
which would
week,
be, I
Thursday,
think,
the 25th at 9:30.
which I think would be 2:30 your time.
2:30 my time. Perfect. Because my
Yeah.
kids come home at 3:30, so I've got an hour. Okay,
So,
so
so you said next Thursday, the 25th.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is it that you do and who do you serve?
I teach people how to be a leader.
Oh,
So,
wow.
that's the big premise behind what I do. So deep down inside, what people don't understand is that they need to be the leader that they are, or that they can become the best leader they can become, and the best leader that other people deserve. So I really, in a nutshell, what I'm teaching people what to do is to be a leader.
To be a leader. So
And
people,
and
do
that
you niche down more specifically than that? Men, women, entrepreneurs, like, do you niche more specific than people?
everybody's a leader.
Everybody. Okay. All right.
Kids are leaders. Kids are leaders. Children are leaders. If you go to a playground, I'll share a quick story with you. If you go to a playground, there will always be the one kid that everybody's following. That kid's the leader. Follow the leader. So I remember going to a playground one time to where I watched this one kid, and he was just running from thing to thing, to ride, to slide, to this, and every other kid was following this one kid, was follow the leader. So from kids all the way up to people that are on, I mean, I don't want to say on their deathbed, but basically older people as well too, senior citizens. I truly believe that you can learn something from anyone. We're all leaders within our own respect, because you don't get nowhere within life without leading yourself. Not
Mm.
necessarily maybe leading others, but I truly believe that leadership begins within yourself, and the things that you say, the things that you do are a are a projection of who you are. And when you can project who you are, you can teach other people life lessons. You can teach people how to be a leader because people will emulate other people. And that's you leading yourself first.
Okay, I love this because it's so complementary with confidence, right?
Mhm.
And it's so complementary with um, women and inviting women to step up because the world need leaders. We're all leaders. You've got natural leadership ability and you just need to tap into it. So tap into your confidence, tap into your leadership, inbuilt leadership skills, and or get Terry to teach you how to become a leader. And yeah, we
Now
should do that.
I have a very powerful opinion, and it's something I'm writing about right now.
Mhm.
And so I got 3 books I'm working on right now. I've already got several books published, but I'm working on 3 more right now. And one of the biggest powerful opinions that I got is that the world needs leadership, not likership. So
Mm,
right now, the world is so focused on likership that we're forgetting that we need leadership, not likership. And I blame social media on that because I truly believe that people are so focused on being liked that they're not leading. They're worried about what their likes are, their followers are, their social media presence. They're worried about, people judging them based off of this, that, and the other. Look, as a leader, you need to make a decision whether people like it or not, because
mm,
you're always making decisions based off of the greater good for the people,
mm,
not because 25 people don't like what you do or what you say. Who cares about that? Look, I'm
yeah,
making a decision for the people, not necessarily each individual, because I think that leaders tend to play small because they're trying to make everybody happy. You're not going to
mm,
make everybody happy,
no,
but you must make a decision that is going to be for the better good of the people. And oftentimes there's going to be people that don't like that, but they're leading with likership versus leadership.
Terry. When I tell you I'm excited about this conversation, you have no idea. Do you know why? Because
Why?
also it leads into raising confident children.
Yeah.
Mothers stop doing things because their kids will like them, but they need to lead them. As I said, I'm raised by a military man, and I believe in the discipline that was instilled in me. And my dad
Mhm.
didn't care about being lead. He didn't care. He cared about, you'll thank me one day, is what he said. And I thank him every day because he
Yeah.
made me who I am, right? But I had to go through the rough to get to the smooth, like a diamond is put under pressure to become the brilliance that it is. The brilliance that people see me, they have no idea what I've gone through, what I've grown through to become this version of me. And I love that I'm learning more about you and getting to see what your mission is. And I can't wait for us to get in conversation next week. Before I let you go, I want to ask you something, okay? Because you are a leader that I see you in your leadership in our community, and I respect you and I value your opinion. How can I, what can you give me in service of me to help me improve in my message and how I'm putting my content out there
Mhm.
based on what you
And
get?
that, and it's just that, share the beautiful mess. Share the beautiful mess. Because when you allow yourself to be vulnerable and you're sharing that beautiful mess, you make it a message. Now, it takes courage, it takes confidence in order to do that. And a lot of times people don't want to put things that are out there. And it does take a little bit of courage to be able to be vulnerable because people are going to be like, ooh, Amma did this or ooh, Amma said that. But I think that as entrepreneurs, we're always looking for problems to solve.
Hmm.
We're always looking for pain points that people are struggling with in order to help solve them or position our products or our services that can touch on those pain points. But here's what I see that is an opportunity out there within the world. A lot of times content is being created where it's face to face, where it's one dimensional. If you was to create content that's multi-dimensional, like for example, a customer over here, I'm really kind of struggling with so and so or whatever the case may be. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Here you go. Here's kind of the thing. And I think that if you did this play on like a back and a forth kind of a thing, I truly believe that there's an opportunity for content creators out there to really make that a dynamic instead of just face to face, one to one, whereas you're like one to another. And I did that in one of my TikTok channels where I was kind of being funny with it. And I was just like, dad and son kind of a thing. It was like I took my glasses off and put a hat, like I got dressed a little bit differently and kind of did one perspective. And then I came back with another perspective. And I think that could be a unique angle for content that could help ask questions and then give advice. It's like a musician. Whenever you're playing music, you have the question and you have the answer. It's like
Mm.
I'm playing a piece of music. It's like da, 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 da. That's the question, and then da, 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 and that's the answer. So I
Yes.
think that if you did this play of a back and forth, it could be something there for you for that.
Mm. Right. Okay. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
I did over the weekend share behind the scenes in my kitchen of my kids cooking, stuff like that. So that was
That
the
was
middle.
great. I saw that. The chickens they were cutting up and everything. I saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah, so that's me sort of playing with coming away from this one-dimensional phase
Uh-huh.
and sort of showing behind the curtains. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
I I'm grateful for the insights, and I will give it some thought into how I can
Yeah.
translate that into my creativity. But
Yeah.
thank you.
And that was really given a creative side, answer to your question. I mean, at the end of that, there's a lot of opportunity that's out there to really kind of share systems and frameworks and big ideas and this, that, and the other. But I think what people are really missing nowadays, they're missing two things. And
Mm,
this is something that I'm focused on here within 2024. And I think that people are missing two things. Number one, they're missing connection. They're missing people. It's people connecting with people.
mm,
And they're also missing community. And I think that that's a part of that because it plays on the people, because people connecting with people in a community that really does empower other people. It lifts other people up. I used to tell people, I was like, look, if you ever see me looking down, it's because I'm helping somebody up. If you see me looking up, it's because I'm thanking God for every opportunity that he gives me, because without him, I am nothing.
mm,
And every time I look around, I see people. I see people just like me, just like you, who are in need of other people just like me and just like you to serve in a unique way that really lifts each other up. Because look, if you find yourself at the top of a mountain and you didn't bring anybody with you, you didn't lead nobody. That's not leadership. And I
yeah.
truly believe that if you want to look back on a life that's well lived, you will look back and see how many people did you bring with you.
Mm, that's great.
So hopefully that's helpful in guiding the path forward.
Oh, it is helpful. I always say I don't care about collecting likes. I do care about collecting hearts, and
Mm,
to collect hearts, I need to give pieces of my heart away. And the way I give pieces of my heart away is to share my story, how
yeah.
how my journey became, what it is. So
And I think sharing other people's journeys as well too, because as coaches, as leaders, and this is something that I lack in as well too, and it's something that I need to focus on. I mean, we all have things that we can improve on, and I'll admit I don't even do that, but I know that I need to. It's an improvement on my end, and that's sharing those success stories of people that we've helped, people that we've lifted up, people that how here's your test. It's a testimony. It's a testimony to who you are, what you've done, how you've served. And I've had people tell me, it's like, where's your testimonies? How come you don't do this? What? And I was like, man, I was
I
like, I know
know
we
I've got
need to
loads of
work on that.
testimonial, but it feels cringing. It feels like bragging.
Yeah.
It still
So
feels.
so there's one element to that, but at the end of that, I think that once again, it's coming down to people connecting with people, and that's that connection. And then community. And if you build a community that people like, look at movement makers, it's a community. We all want to be there. We all want to connect. We all want to, lift each other up. And it's all starts with Evan, but
I have to say
we're
though, Movement
learning.
Makers is not a community that I wanted it to be,
Mm,
in the way that it's kind of dormant. Like it is, Terry. It's a community that
mhm.
it sounds like, yay, I'm part of a community. But for me,
Yep.
if I'm brutally honest with you, I'm there. And these days I'm questioning why I'm there, because
Yeah.
I mean, Evan does a great
It's
job.
changed.
Yeah, what do you call it? Discord. I don't know if it's the problem with Discord, but it's a dead platform. There are only like 2 or 3 people talking and engaging. It's not a community. I don't know how many members Movement Makers have, but people don't share content, they don't support each other, they're not liking each other's posts, and it's not an active, productive community. Some people participate in the challenges. If you do participate in the challenge, there's no feedback. Like, I don't get
Yeah.
it.
That's great feedback. And I've been with Evan for about 3 years now, and it's changed. People have come and gone. And when the how can I say this? When we used to have everyday average people in there that wanted to connect with Evan, wanted to be a part of something bigger. And I think that whenever the targeting shifted, the people also shifted. And I think that we got some great people in there, but they're at a different level than the people that was originally targeted. So the old school, the old G's of movement makers, for example, I don't want to say that they were average people, because they're far from average. I connected with some amazing people, Tessa Marie, Yuko, Angela. I mean, I could go on Zan. I could go on down the line with like all the old G's that I connected with, and we felt like family.
Mm.
You hit the nail on the head. Like, there was a time where movement makers did feel 100% like a family.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that it doesn't feel like a family now. It still does. We're still a family, but there's different people. And I think that when you got different people in a community, in an environment, there's going to be a dynamic there. And I think that it's a matter of the leader leading the way, in which we've done that. We have the challenges, we have the different things that's going on, but I think that it comes down to having additional leaders within the space. And I think that, the team is doing a great job. All the ladies on the team, on Evan's
Mm.
team, are doing a great
Angela,
job.
Angel, Yelena, all of them, they're doing a great
Angel,
job.
exactly. They're all doing a
They're
fantastic job.
amazing.
But
They're
what
such great supporters. They're an example of, what it should be.
Yeah, but I think that we're all looking for something significantly much bigger and much deeper than what we're getting, of course, and then twice a week. And what Evan used to go live. He used to go live. I don't remember what day it was, but he used to go live, and he would bring us all up on his IG live stream with him.
Mm.
And he would kind of present questions and give us an opportunity to answer questions
Yes.
on his live stream. And I was like, there was little things that we used to do along the way that we just don't do anymore. I think that since we got away from the basics and the foundation, I think we also got away from what it really meant to be in movement makers.
But maybe that's happening now because he's set up a mastermind group. Maybe the focus is to give that to those who are in his mastermind group.
Yeah,
Terry, what I'm
yeah, he
what
shifted to funnels.
what I'm
He
saying
shifted to
is that
funnels.
it won't take a whole load of effort to come back to what is the intention of movement makers. What are we trying to achieve with this group? And like
Yeah.
you said, initially it used to feel like family. Now it doesn't. It feels like a couple of disjointed individuals floating around. And no, really. And then if you do participate in the challenge, what is the advantage of participating? Apart from your own, like, it's like being part of, let's say, Weight Watchers, but it doesn't mean anything. You don't win any prizes. You're not, there needs to be something else to
Mhm.
keep active members active, meaning that they participate, they contribute, they care about what they're doing, to be incentivized, to be motivated, to be, to be connected. Yeah, because we're there
Mhm.
to connect with each other. And it doesn't feel like that. And I just thought I'd say something because I don't want to leave, because it's the easiest thing to do is just to just say, right, I'm out of here. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's a mutual feeling on that. I think that there's people that don't really know what they're looking for, so they don't know why they're there.
Mm.
And some people just want to connect with Evan. Some people just want to be a part of what he's doing, and I think there's a large degree of that right there. But at the end of that, I think it takes an intentional decision to connect with people, because I haven't connected with everybody, but I have a select group of people that I have connected with. I think some of the new movement makers, Andrea, for example, I connected with her. I've recorded with her, Andrea Turner, and she's amazing. I love talking with her.
She's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I connected with Kevin. I did a live stream with him,
Yes.
and it was a great conversation. It was a good conversation. I would, but at the end of that, I think that if you're not willing to put yourself out there and connect with people, or at least try to learn or understand the other person, you won't connect with them. It's like I've connected with people not really by force. I don't want to say that, that's the wrong word to use, but intention. It's like,
Mm.
what is the intention behind connecting with someone?
Yeah.
Like, what is my intention with connecting with you, for example? I
Yeah.
didn't have to reach out to you. I totally could have just went about my day and was like, well, I'm only going to connect with old G movement makers because those are the people I love. I could have done that. But
Mm.
look, you have a message, you have a voice. I've seen your content, I've consumed your content, and I know that you and I would have a great conversation. And I think that it's not always finding your like-minded people, but finding people that have opposite or different opinions or perspective on things to where you can allow that to shine, not
Yeah.
really argue about who's right, who's wrong, because I like